Welcome to another video here on the Critical Focus channel. Before we get started, I would like to thank all my wonderful members that support my work. Every penny goes straight into new minis, new paint, equipment and whatnot. Your support means a lot. If you are not yet a member, what you can expect from a future membership is access to the member Discord, early access to videos, member deck review, and just generally a greater influence on the content I put out. I will surely add more features to the member side of things as I progress as well. Furthermore, I would also like to mention that if you are looking to buy Warhammer merch, you can now support the channel via clicking the link provided in the description of the video to help the channel with a small but valuable kickback without any extra cost for you by making any of your purchases via the link. Lastly, don't forget to like the video. A small click for you that still means a lot for me and the elusive YouTube algorithm to get the video into a more favorable position amongst the very steep competition out there on the YouTubes. And do feel free to comment as well. I'm always interested in hearing what you have to say. Any engagement is welcome really, and I always strive to answer any comment I do get. Myari's Purifiers are a graceful company of luminous elves who glow with the power of Hysh. Steeped in learning and arcane skill, they have entered Beastgrave to calm its wrath, believing that only they have the presence of mind to resist the mountain's primal call. Their confidence may be well placed. Myari is a master of elemental invocations, renowned for his great wisdom and insight, while the three warriors who fight alongside him epitomize different aspects of the Lumineth way of war. The Orlan Sentinel Sinela is a master archer whose elegant bow is equally lethal when lofting arrows on long arcing flights or firing them straight and true with pinpoint precision. Whatever target she chooses, the summital tips of her arrows strike with a searing heat that burns her foes from within. While Sinela engages the enemy at range, the Alarith Stone God Bahanur anchors the advance. Blessed by the mountains of Hysh, the Temple Guardian walks Beastgrave's tunnels fearlessly, confident that his own elemental patrons are mightier. For each swing of the Stone God's hammer, the supreme swordswoman Eileen makes a flurry of thrusts and slashes, severing heads and limbs without receiving a scratch in return. Known as the Mind's Edge, Eileen is a wandering blade master who fights with Myari on the agreement that he will one day train her in the shaping of Hyshian energies. Myari and his kin hail from the great nation of Hedkrakka, a land famed for its mountainous terrain and lofty philosophies, and view their descent into Beastgrave as an extension of the Hedkrakkan belief that to delve into the deepest chasms is to go on a journey of introspection and mental discovery. Their quest is far more than an intellectual pursuit, however. Myari suspects that only a preemptive strike against the mountain will prevent the Cataphrane curse's effects from running rampant across Gur and eventually into Hysh. To aid them in this mission, they each carry a supply of precious aether quartz. At need, they can consume some of the Realmstone's energy to gain dexterity and focus in a crucial moment. To prevail in the crimson depths of Direchasm, the Lumineth will need to use every power at their command. Having first entered Beastgrave in pursuit of visions of their missing deity Slanesh, the depraved mortals known as the Dread Pageant were soon gripped by a new obsession, the tormenting of the sentient mountain itself. Like all Slaneshi hedonites, the Dread Pageant are slaves to sensation, and when they first tasted Beastgrave's anguish at being denied its usual feast of flesh, they began to goad the mountain by withholding its succor, torturing their victims to the point of death while imbibing Beastgrave's despair. In the claustrophobic depths of Direchasm, the mountain's raw emotions are at their most tangible, sending the Dread Pageant into a euphoric state. The leader of the Dread Pageant is Vasilek the Gifted, a deadly spearman whose supple body is covered with ritual scars. Vasilek rose to lordship amongst the Godseeker's host at a young age, and it is said that his plumed helm hides a youthful face set with a wicked smile. To join him in Beastgrave, Vasilek selected two hedonites whose martial efforts would complement but highlight his own. Hadsu is a nimble archer whose cruel arrows do not kill swiftly, but inflame dark desires in those they strike, while the dancer killer Glisette hopes to prove herself through acrobatic acts of face-to-face murder. Above all, both mortals delight in attacking their enemies without being hit in return. The same cannot be said of Slakeslash, a slangor who is as happy to hurt as to cause pain. Bound to Vasilak by some unspoken pact, the sinuous beast slices the Hedonite lord's foes apart with its pincered limb and cruel sword. Amongst the Dread Pageant, it is in Slakeslash's bestial heart that the predatory emotion of Beastgrave finds readiest purchase, and the deeper into Direchasm the warband travels, the more ferocious the slangor becomes. For most of those in Beastgrave, the shivering cracks in reality that link the mountain to Shadespire are unnerving manifestations. For the Dread Pageant, however, these fractures offer a tantalizing promise, for they lead to Ulgush, that etheric place of captivity for Slaanesh and the Mirrored City alike. In pursuit of these alluring glimpses, the Hedonites push ever further into the mountain's depths. Of the many motives that lead warbands into the dark heart of Beastgrave, few are as brazenly violent as that which drives Khagra the usurper and her band of slaves to darkness. As they see it, the mountain will be the culmination of their personal path to glory, a final proving ground where they will earn the attention of the dark gods. They intend no less than to dominate Beastgrave itself, turning it into the service of chaos by desecrating the mountain's every chamber through dark sorcery and brutal sacrifice. Within the chambers of Beastgrave, they found themselves trapped by a gnashing chamber where their doom would be certain had not Khagra wedged the shield between the floor and the descending ceiling and carved her way out of the rocky gullet. Since then, the other two warriors, Kragan and Razek, follow Khagra while Sarcha plans to overturn her upstart sibling. When the slan star masters of the Seraphon turned their prescient gaze upon Beastgrave, the signs were troubling. Unchallenged, the corrupting presence of those who served chaos would in time transform the mountain into a colossal demigod whose power would wreak havoc across the realm of Gur and beyond. To prevent this premonition from coming to pass, the Slan sent a hunting party of skinks into the mountain, bolstered by the Saurus Oldblood Clacktrock. Leadership of the group fell to the gifted skink priest Kixitaka the Diviner, in whose hands the Slan placed an artifact of dizzying power, an orb that, if deployed in precisely the right location, would compel the entire mountain to consume itself in self-destructive madness. Achieving this would be no easy task, however, for the group would have to fight every step of the way as they navigated the mountain's twisting tunnels. Kixitaka's mission was clear. As the Starblood Stalkers advanced, they would purge Beastgrave of the servants of the Dark Gods, and in so doing, prove the innate primacy of order. Eventually, Beastgrave would collapse, with some speculating that its fall was caused by the Starblood Stalkers, who managed to activate their arcane device to cause the mountain to tear itself apart from within, although other possible explanations have been given. Prince Duval claims descent from the von Carstein lineage, and few are foolish enough to gainsay him to his face. The charismatic lord is adept at conjuring glamours and illusions, rendering his prey disoriented and vulnerable before the final blow. The prince leads the coterie of soulblight gravelords known as the Crimson Court, a band of merciless hunters united by their cruel appetites. They found their way into Direchasm through a splinter of the spreading Cataphrane curse, intent upon taking full advantage of the rich variety of prey promised by the living mountain's depths. Each of these vampiric predators bring their own skill to the hunt. Duval's dominating will leaves his victims defenseless, while the towering Goreth relies upon might as often as his own enchantments. Velas von Fane is a master duelist who wields her twin blades with uncanny skill and speed. The curse-twisted Enyas fights with a barbaric ferocity, all but unstoppable when drunk on the blood of their victims, and terrifyingly savage privilege should they be denied it. The Crimson Court revel in their new hunting grounds. The self-proclaimed Gob of Gork says he can hear the voice of Gorkamorka through his pet squig snake. It was that same serpent that convinced Hedkrakka and his mates to seek out and kill the Beastgrave, though it has yet to reveal how. Together the claw-fisted boss Toothdagger, the club-wielding Wallop Daskull, and the arrow boy Dako Sharpsticker form the faithful entourage of the shaman Hedkrakka. These mad lads gladly follow their Wergog prophet into the most dangerous wilds of Gur. Kainan is a brutal enforcer of the Morticians, fanatically devoted to ensuring the bone tithe is met, and first to be dispatched when Nagash resolved to claim the dues of the Silent People. Certainly any confronted by this osseous Goliath soon dredge upon outstanding payments. Better that than face the annihilating swing of Kainan's axe. The Reapers serve as Kainan's heralds, a cadre of elite Mortek guard who back up the Enforcer's demands with clinical violence. His Hekatus lieutenant Binar Kenta assists in recording the grim payments of the bone tithe, guarded by Senna and Karu's shield wall, as Hako advances with his great blade and Nohem launches hissing volleys of netherite weapon. Wielding the finest netherite wargear, they cut down their opponents without hesitation or remorse, exemplars of the Bone Reaper's dark efficiency. Elathain was dubbed the ill-fated for failing to harvest the essence of Gur's silent people. Yet the Soulrender remains dedicated as ever, wielding the grim tools of his trade to claim a bounty of spirits. His soul net can be used to ensnare a victim, ensuring they cannot escape their doom at the hands of the Soulrender. And like all Isharan Soulrenders, Elathain possesses a mythical lure that can trap the souls of slain opponents so that they can be used to resurrect fallen allies. Elathain's companions are a disparate lot, the Achillean knight Furin, battling alongside the Namarti Tamael and the bond beasts Duinclaw and Spinefin. Together, however, they fight as one, as a searching tide to claim the souls for their enclave.